A somber day this Monday morning as Americans mourn the passing of Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Ken Starr worked with Ginsburg for 6 years on the D.C. Circuit Court. He wrote an op-ed in the Wall Street Journal titled "Ruth Bader Ginsburg, Equality's Gracious Champion." Ken Starr joins us now, Fox News contributor and former independent counsel. Good morning to you. Ken, great to have you here this morning.
Good morning.
Your reflections.
Thank you. Well, my principal reflection is what a great human being. Her unifying theme that animated her professional life as a judge and before as a lawyer was equality and human dignity. All persons should have the opportunity to try to achieve their dreams, and there should not be impediments and barriers in the law to stopping that, including going to an all-male military institution for higher education. But on a deeply personal level, she was a truly great human being, loving and caring, kind and compassionate. Those are easy things to say, but they happen to be true. We had such a great culture, so to speak, within the Court of Appeals where we could disagree with one another, and that's one of the lessons for the nation. She was never disagreeable, and she always respected the viewpoints of those with whom she disagrees. She lamented, Sandra, the way that Justice Brett Kavanaugh was treated, that was a terrible thing, and she knew that it's not always that way. It wasn't that way when she was nominated, and may we restore that and return to that beautiful attitude and culture of civility and kindness, which she really embodied.
It's so important to hear that. And I had the opportunity about a year ago to the day to sit down inside the Supreme Court and interview Justice Neil Gorsuch. And he talked a lot about that, about the camaraderie inside the court. Listen.
This is a very small institution. There are 9 of us. You're asking about our collegiality at this court. And like every court I've been associated with, it's a wonderful place to work. I have wonderful colleagues. We eat lunch together. We go to dinner at one another's homes. We have fun together. We play practical jokes on one another once in a while. And we shake hands every time we gather. And that's a tradition that's gone on for, I don't know, 150 years.
It's so important because we don't often see that side of the justices or inside the court or their camaraderie and the congeniality that does exist. But you look at that and then you imagine what we are about to see in the days and weeks that come, with the president saying this morning that he will likely be announcing his pick for the vacancy either Friday or Saturday, Ken.
And that's the way it has to be. The president has been elected. There is a vacancy in the Supreme Court. And so the president could very well view this not just as a political act, but as a presidential duty of the highest order. And the numbers tell the story. History is a great guide here. 29 times we've had a vacancy during an election year, and 29 times a president of the United States has made a nomination. And many times those nominations have in fact been confirmed even after the election. So I think the calls to, oh, don't do this and the heavens will fall and all these terrible, terrible political consequences will occur and so forth is really turning a blind eye to history. And so the president is marching forward to do his constitutional duty under Article 2 of the Constitution.
You talk about political consequences that are being discussed and also threats that we have heard. Many are looking to this new interview with Nancy Pelosi, where she was asked about possible impeachment to delay the Supreme Court justice pick, and she didn't brush it off. Ken, listen.
We have a responsibility. We take an oath to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States. We have a responsibility to meet the needs of the American people. When we weigh the equities, protecting our democracy requires us to use every arrow in our quiver.
What did you think when you heard that?
Well, I thought that once again, impeachment has become entirely a political weapon, and the founding fathers did not intend for that. Impeachment was to be an instrument of last resort, and had only been used twice, Andrew Johnson and Richard Nixon, in our history until the age of impeachment set in. This, I think, is very unfortunate for the nation, and yet the Speaker says that she's protecting the Constitution. Well, it's just the opposite. The Constitution is very clear, as we just said. This is the president's authority. And in fact, some could say, Mr. President, you have this obligation. There are 8 members of the court now, and you need, especially during an election year, and we know what happened in 2000, you don't dare leave a seat vacant. And sitting justices, including Sonia Sotomayor, have said the court does not do well with 8 justices. It was intended to be a good odd number. So we need that 9th justice.
It's really fascinating. If I could just end on this Wall Street Journal op-ed, the headline at least, why the Biden rule doesn't apply in 2020. It was a fascinating read, Ken, and it said voters in 2016 and 2018 showed a clear preference for Trump nominee's originalist philosophy. Of course, case in point, Neil Gorsuch, from whom you've just heard. Ken, great to have you here this morning. Wonderful to talk to you.